Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I kinda did my nails. The red ones are because I couldn't find black ones. Um, besides that point, um, sorry for the noise. They're doing like some stuff outside of the house. So, little story, um, that I'm gonna probably read is called The Contest by Ron Carlson. Probably I'm gonna read it. I don't know yet. But a story I have to tell because I'm bored is, so I guess you could say there was Dom and Sub when I was in second grade because my friend Alex, he would always go mute, like he had a little remote control, and then I would just go and like not talk at all until he went unmute. But yeah, I'm reading the Contest by Ron Carlson, and it was made in 2013. I decide I want to read to an audience because to me it's boring and like really like I'm thinking about a million things at once when I read it by myself. Cause that's why I want to read it to you guys, cause it's for like, well, actually, I won't read it to you guys. I got a better thing. It is it has to do with ghosts. It's called The Truth Behind the Legends and Lore. So this is The Truth Behind the Legends and Lore. It also says spooky stories, world's most haunted places, medium psychics, and more. Plus, real life Ghostbusters, spirit hunters share their secrets. You may have heard this story before. A driver picks up a young girl hitchhiking on the side of the road, and she asks to be driven home. The driver tries to make conversation, but the passenger is quiet, staring out the window. Just as the car is pulling into the driveway of her house, the driver looks back and notices the girl has simply vanished. Disturbing and baffled, the driver just goes to the house and rings the doorbell. An old woman answers. The driver explains what happened and asks if the girl has come back. The woman gives a world-weary sigh. "That was my daughter," she said. "She died 30 years ago on this night." Sometimes there is a full moon, or sometimes it's a moonless night. Sometimes the ghost jumps out of the car instead of vanishing. Sometimes it's an old man at the door. This is Benjamin Radford, a folklorist and author of Investigating Ghosts. What?
What you doing?
Reading.
Oh, how come?
Because I can.
Oh. I'll be right back.
Bye.
I gotta go get your meds.
Bye.
Well, I love you too. And please, let's get going.
Okay. That's good. I'm just gonna go to good notes. If you're subscribed, comment down below any suggestions, because I need suggestions, y'all. I need suggestions. Legends never die, whether real, a misunderstanding, or straight up fictions. These stories of local spirits have been persisted. Almost every town has a ghost story, whether it's a forlorn woman scratching for a lost love, a spirit seeking revenge for wrongful death, or an enigmatic creature that's said to speak, or that's said to reside in a nearby wooded area. For the most part, without written document or other evidence, nobody knows if the otherworldly accounts are accurate or simply tall tale someone started on a lark. One thing, however, is certain: they've been they've they've lasted, being told and retold for decades and sometimes centuries, in front of roaring campfires and in hushed whispers late at night during slumber parties. Here are some of the most mysterious and unnerving reports that, pardon the pun, just won't die. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 stories. The Bell Witch, sometimes called America's greatest ghost story. The tale begins in the Red River bottomland of what's now Adams, Tennessee. John Bell bought 320 acres in a large farmhouse and relocated his family there from North Carolina in 1804. For more than a dozen years, the Bells flourished until 1817, when, according to some versions, John encountered a strange half-rabbit, half-dog in his fields. From there, things started to go bump in the night, literally. The family began to experience strange occurrences, unexplained knocking sounds, bed sheets being yanked off, and eldest daughter Betsy would sometimes wake up covered in bruises. According to lore, John told neighbors, and they began investigating the ghost, which turned out to be pretty darn easy, since the entity readily told them she was the spirit of Bell's neighbor, Kate Batts. A town outcast who allegedly had a few bad business dealings with the Bells. For her part, Batts vehemently denied any part in the haunting. Either way, the story goes that the spirit began responding to the name Kate and vowed to kill John and prevent Betsy's upcoming marriage. Stories of Kate's antics spread far and wide, attracting the curious. Apparently she was quite the entertainer, singing, quoting scripture, and engaging in full conversations with guests. Then Andrew Jackson, who had served with 3 of the Bell's sons, even came to check her out. The stories say his men were taunted by the spirit. One, who claimed to be a witch tamer, was forcefully kicked out and called a fraud. Allegedly, the future US president said, "I'd rather face the entire British army than to spend another night with the Bellas." And I'm too bored to go on. But there are some I will read. The Slit-Mouthed Woman. In Japan, a few versions of the eerie Kuchisake Onna urban legend are commonly told. So let me see if I can summarize it for you. So basically, what happened, because there's different versions of it, but the one I know of Kuchisake Onna is she's a beautiful but vain woman who cheated on her samurai husband, but when he found out, he slashed her face from ear to ear. So he slashed her from ear to ear like that. And it says here, to help you guys better understand, the woman is typically said to have returned from after death to wander the streets covering her mouth with a mask or scarf. She pauses periodically to ask people if they think she's beautiful. The response has serious repercussions. If they say no, she'll instantly slash their face. If they say yes, she removes the cloth, revealing her disfigurement, and asks again if they think she's pretty. If they respond no, she'll slash them too. Alas, people who at that point try to say she's beautiful don't fare much better. She'll reportedly follow them home and kill them. Now, I haven't really read much about Jersey Devil. Here goes. Trying to get comfortable. Jane Leeds of New Jersey already had 12 children, and when she found out she was pregnant again, she cursed the baby, saying it would be the devil. Bad move. Child number 13, born in 1735, had a god's head, its wings, hooves, and a forked tail. The creature flew off into the night and has been haunting Garden State residents ever since. Or so one version goes. In another, a young colonist became pregnant by a British soldier during the Revolutionary War, and the child was cursed by her town. The third spin suggests a girl gave birth to the Jersey Devil after a curse was put on her by a Roma woman she'd refused to help. No matter the origin, the entity has been spotted for years. Various descriptions have been mentioned: glowing red eyes, different heights, and other features, but the response to it is generally the same: fear. And for those of you who may or may not already know about Annabelle, it's based off a Raggedy Ann doll. And this is what it looks like in a museum. They locked her up for a reason. So the movie version is a porcelain doll. The real version is a Raggedy Ann doll. Let me see what else. The toy was owned by two nurses who were roommates in the 1970s, Tony Spera, curator of the Occult Museum in Connecticut, and a Warren son-in-law, told The Hollywood Reporter. It was a gift no one of the women from her mother who had gotten it. It was a gift to one of the women from her mother who had gotten it at a second-hand store. The nurses would come home to discover that the doll was in different positions despite being left alone, and then they found notes on parchment paper with "Help me" written in crayon, even though they didn't have crayons or parchment paper in the house. They contacted a psychic who told them the spirit of a child named Annabelle, who had been killed in a car accident at about 6 or 7 years old, was present. According to Sparrow, one night of the woman's fiance, Lou, dreamed the doll was trying to strangle him. When he picked it up, deep slash marks appeared on his torso. The nurses connected with the Warrens, and a priest performed the exorcism to rid the doll of any spirits. Ed Warren took the doll with him when he left. Sparrow told THR, claiming Ed had similar car trouble to that shown in the film. The Annabelle doll was placed in a glass case in the Warrens' museum. That might not be the end of the story. Lorraine gave a presentation in 2014 in which she told the audience that a museum visitor who taunted the doll. So people went to the Warrens Museum, but one person decided to taunt the doll. Taunt a cursed doll. They decided to taunt the doll, who later died in a motorcycle accident after leaving, according to the New Haven Register. So this is why y'all never taunt things. Like there was this sailor boy looking thing, and some about you have to ask it to take pictures of it. So y'all probably know about the Slender Man, Bloody Mary, and La Llorona. But I'll read them to you anyway. Those three are my favorites. Not gonna lie. The Slender Man. This tall, thin, and pale character made headlines in 2014 when two Wisconsin teens stabbed a classmate to appease Slender Man. According to the Milwaukee Journal's Sentinel, I don't know, don't judge me. Unlike a number of urban legends, Slender Man's origin, according to a 2016 Rolling Stone article, is crystal clear. In 2009, a Florida man, drawing inspiration from Stephen King, H.P. Lovecraft, and video games, created two images of Slender Man to submit a comedy website thread that had asked people to invent a mythological creature via Photoshop. Other site users began sharing fabricated images and stories about the Slender Man creature in response, a number of which involved missing children and teens. Roughly a week and a half after he'd first appeared in the comedy site thread, Slender Man was featured in a video short made by 3 college students who depicted him as a faceless supernatural being. Internet fame followed. Court documents state Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser, each 12 at the time, learned about Slender Man on creepypasta Horseite and believed killing someone would show their dedication to Slender Man and prevent him from harming their families. According to the journal Sentinel, which reported Geyser and Weier stabbed their 11-year-old acquaintance 19 times. These 12-year-olds stabbed an 11-year-old acquaintance, which is someone they talk to like they're not friends, 19 times, but luckily she survived. Approximately a week after the Wisconsin attack, a teenager in Ohio stabbed her mother, which a local news station said was to pacify Slender Man. How could you do that to your own family? I don't even know. I'm the type of person that doesn't even have the balls to do that shit. Bloody Mary. We will do that one next time because it's too long to read. La Llorona. Love it. I can summarize it for you, but so basically, La Llorona means the weeping woman. So it says it varies a little by region and teller. In one version, after giving birth to a child fathered by Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortes, his Aztec mistress was replaced by an aristocratic Spanish wife, prompting him. Mm-hmm. So what I remember from La Llorona is hang on, let me do something. Let me do something real quick, guys. Hang on. So, um, the Curse of La Llorona storyline shapes that Ana Garcia, a social worker and widow who raised his two kids in 1973 Los Angeles, is called to check in on one of her cases. She finds signs of something evil incidences. As she digs deeper, she finds remarkable similarities between the case and the terrifying supernatural occurrences that is haunting her family. Searching for help with a local faith healer, she discovers that La Llorona has latched herself onto Ana and will stop at nothing to take her children. La Llorona, which is also known as the Weeping Woman, is a female ghost in Venezuelan folklore that lost her children and causes misfortune to those nearby. As she searches for them, she takes others' lost children, making them her own. The legend of La Llorona is based on a true story which is commonly found in South Texas or in Mexico, where the story was originally originated from. In the Mexican folklore, it is mentioned that La Llorona means the weeping woman. The legend says a woman named Maria lived in a village. She's a beautiful young woman. This one is the one I know. One day a nobleman passed by her village and saw Maria. He was instantly felt captivated by her beauty and fell in love with her. The nobleman proposed for her marriage and she immediately said yes, but the nobleman's father didn't approve of the girl or the marriage. They both stayed away and settled together away from his father. Soon Maria conceived and gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. She was happy beyond words, but as days went by, Maria felt her husband was drifting away from her. He doesn't come home often or spend enough time to spend with her. One day he just stopped coming home. One day, Maria, along with the kids, walking by the river, and she saw a familiar carriage with a young and beautiful woman stand next to her husband. She grew angry. In her anger, she threw her children in the river, drowning them. But when she saw the bodies floating, she then realized what she has done. So she realized, what, what did I do? What did I do? She jumped into the river, hoping to die along with the children. At the heaven's gate, she was shunned to earth to search for souls of her children. She wasn't permitted to afterlife until she finds them. It is believed that she is stuck between living and dead. This story has many versions, but in some versions it said that she keeps them. So the one I know, the one you just heard was Maria is a beautiful, beautiful woman who fell in love with this guy, and she saw some other women in the carriage with her husband, so she threw kids in the river. And then she drowned herself. And then now she's like not in the afterlife or not in the living. She's trapped between, so she's basically a ghost. And the other part I know is like any child that's alone or anything. It's like she might come for your child next or something. Um Yeah, it said that you can sometimes hear her crying or wailing for her children. And it said if you hear them, then you are marked to death. So if you hear her wails, like if her wails sound near, she's actually far. And if her wailing sounds far, she's actually near. So there's many adaptations of the haunting story of the weeping woman, La Llorona. In a Mexican film, it was made The Cure of the Crying Woman. It was made in 1961. It involves the resurrection of the spirit of La Llorona. Then there was one named in 2017 called The Cry. 2013, Mama. 2003 it was called Chasing Papi. So, in an NBC TV series, second season of Grimm, in its 9th episode, it showed that a ghost-like woman who appears in Halloween in different cities always lures 3 kids to the 3 kids to the 3 rivers to the 3 rivers meet, attempting to sacrifice these children to regain her own. Hey, I've heard of that show, The Supernatural. In the TV series The Supernatural, a similar storyline of La Llorona story is portrayed by Sarah Shahi. There are also animated adaptations of the story is it titled as La Leyenda de la Llorona. La Leyenda de la Llorona. La Llorona. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm tongue twisted. It's La Leyenda de la Llorona. And here she's portrayed as a sympathetic character. Mexican playwright Josefina. In 1995, a Mexican playwright Josefina Lopez wrote The Unconquered Spirit. Lopez used the myth of La Llorona. Lopez was mainly inspired by the story of La Malinche, one of the many versions of La Llorona, the story of a young girl who was brutally raped by a Spanish friar. She gives birth to twin boys as a result and drowns them in the river. And what else was in that book? Parents used them, so it says. It's pretty powerful. It says, she drowns herself too, but is denied entrance to heaven for her misdeeds. So she floats around in her white funeral gown, searching earth for her boys, or other people's. It's pretty powerful stuff. Patricia Velasquez, who starred in The Curse of La Llorona, a 2019 film giving the legend of modern Spain, told Bustle. I grew up in Mexico, and La Llorona is very real for us. We grew up with her, and it's really how our parents make us do what they want. And here's what the parents would say: Make sure you have to come in at 5. Otherwise, La Llorona is going to get you. That's how bad, that's how scary La Llorona is. The two things I will say I like the stories I like are like La Llorona. There's stories I like. La Llorona, stories about the Chupacabra, the Slender Man, Bloody Mary. Hang on, let me search up something. See, we got hauntings here in Iowa. Here's 13 of the most There are 6 spooky spots in Iowa. The Villisca Axe Murder House. Number 1. Number 2, Squirrel Cage Jail. Number 3, Mason House Inn. Number 4, the Frank Hotel. Number 5, Oakland Cemetery's Black Angel. That thing is cursed. Number 6, Matthias Ham House. So, if you guys want to know about the Axe Murder House, the Villisca Axe murders were committed on June 9, 1912, which was shortly after the Titanic sank, in the southwestern town of Villisca, Iowa, which is the only town in the U.S. that's named Villisca. The 6 members of the Moore family and 2 guests were all found bludgeoned with head wounds due to an axe. While authorities have several suspects, some tried and acquitted, the case remains unsolved to this day. So the Black Angel is a famous monument. It's 8.5 foot or 2.6 meters tall. It's called the Black Angel. It's a statue by Mario Corbel, who was was erected in 1913 as a memorial to Nicholas Vildovert. The story of the Black Angel dates back to the 19th century when Teresa Vildovert traveled back to Iowa City from an area that is not known as the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Her first marriage produced her son, Edward Dolezal, who died in Iowa City in 1981. Teresa had the bronze angel statue made in Chicago by Czech-American sculptor Mario Corbel and transported to Iowa City to be placed in the cemetery in 1915. Her second husband, Nicholas Vildovert's ashes were placed in a repository as the base of the statue. When Teresa died in 1924, her ashes were placed beside her husband's. Though the monument displays Teresa's birth date, there is no sign of her death date. Over the years, the bronze statue oxidized, which means it changed color, like it got rusty and stuff. So it got oxidized, requiring a greenish black patina. Many students and surrounding residents of Iowa visit the statue. The biggest night of attraction is Halloween, where students gather around the statue. Some test their luck by touching or kissing the statue. It is said if one touches or kisses the statue, they will be struck dead unless that person is a virgin. It was also rumored that if a pregnant woman walks beneath the statue's stretched wings, that she will miscarry. Vandals have damaged the statue, removing several fingers. Nobody likes history anymore. Nobody cares about veterans anymore. This world is driving me crazy. This world is driving me crazy. This world is driving me crazy. Don't you people see? Every minute of the day, I just wanna walk away. Get back to my freedom. Get to where I belong. I'm singing a song. All that matters.